Alright, what is going on, everybody? Rio Zeal here, and welcome to another episode of Quick Impressions. This episode we're checking out Spellbreak, a multiplayer spellcaster game that is basically a battle royale spellcaster game, at least in the current build of it. I really did not know much about this game going in, and I did see it at one of the Gamescom opening night thing. I think I've seen it before then too, and the art style and stuff like that seemed interesting. So I thought I would check it out. After playing like a little bit of the game though, I played about 3 to 4 matches. I was pretty impressed by the game overall. It still seems like a how to describe it? It still feels like it has a long ways to go in some aspects, which I'll get to. But I think the concept itself and how it plays works pretty well. And spoilers, I ended up doing pretty well in just my first kind of play session for the game. Maybe that has a lot to do with my enjoyment of it, but it has a lot of what you've seen from other battle royales, but instead of guns and all that stuff, you got magic abilities which you can kind of combine together, and some of them are you can kind of mix in with the environment. Yeah. So we'll jump into the first match that I did here. So just like the rest of the battle royales, you just dive in, and you don't have to worry about parachuting and all that. You just kind of hit the ground. There's loot and stuff like that to pick up. There's like a pretty... It's like a 15-minute tutorial to begin that kind of teaches you everything, and I think it gets the job done. But still it takes a little while to kind of accustom yourself to it. But, like, you know, like Warzone or Fortnite or whatever, you're just getting loot. There's epic, there's legendary stuff, uncommon, rare, all that stuff. I got potions, armor shards, or I guess armor potion, one of the two. Now here I get into my first battle. I picked ice to start out with. You get to pick like which is like your main magic to start out. And I went with ice, and a little rough at the beginning here because I'm not fully comfortable with it. But we eventually take out this person. But the magic stuff kind of lays out on the land for a while, not too long. And later on, you'll see that ice actually plays an impact on the environment, which it'll be in just a couple minutes, you'll see that. But there's ice, fire, wind, rock, like toxic, electricity, and there's one more, I think. But you basically get 2 arms of magic if you can find it. You get, like I said, you get like armor and stuff that boosts your mana, and you can get higher quality magic arms, which is the correct term, magic arms. And you have abilities, so it kind of reminds me of a mix of excuse me, a mix of, oh, what's the Ubisoft game, why am I blanking on this? A mix of like Fortnite and what is that Ubisoft game called? hyper. What is it? Oh my gosh. I'll figure it out later. I'll remember it later. Can't believe I forgot that game. But as far as like the areas and landscape goes, it's all kind of the samey-ish. It's all kind of similar, which I think is one of the big knocks I have just in my time, is there's not really any like standout environments. It's all kind of fantasy up in the sky thing. And this is what the thing I was mentioning about ice powers, is you can use it to kind of move faster in an environment and glide, which was really cool. I was not actually expecting that. As far as I know, it's only a power that you can actually use in an environment in that way, but maybe some later abilities will allow you to do that. Yeah, so thank you to the guy in front of me who showed me that. And I won't edit this first match at all, just to give you a flow of how it actually works out. But there is a decent amount of downtime, because I honestly don't know how many people start out the match, and right now it's only squads. But it definitely isn't 100 players, I can tell you that. Hyperscape, that's the name of the Ubisoft game. Yeah, so it's like a mix of Hyperscape and like Fortnite, as far as mixing like cartoonish quality and a loot kind of system. So there you go. Charge a shot, ice, boom. And you exile opponents. Like if you have another squad, you can exile someone who you've taken out, and that basically removes them from play. I mean, you don't have to do it, but if it helps to just get rid of a player so they can't get resurrected. And here I picked up a win ability, and you have a basic move, which is the right trigger, and a kind of more area of effect move with the LB and RB. And you have like a basic ability, which I always kind of had the same ability, which there's like teleporting, there's boosting damage and stuff like that. So yeah, 3 kills as far as my group is going. And this was my first match, like playing this game. So there's a lot of like, I have no clue what I'm doing, but just hit people and stuff like that. Actually, my teammate disconnected here. What is this problem? But as I mentioned earlier, landscape is very much like grassy, fantasy look, and it looks like the game looks nice. The effects look really nice. I didn't really have too many performance issues at all. But this first match, really, I didn't meet many people besides like a single person. But later on, you'll see basically a big battle in like a castle area, and there's a lot going on, and it's kind of hard to figure out whose attacks are whose, you know, and like will you be hurt if you go in that attack or not. And the game did say there is friendly fire, which I just didn't notice if it happened or not. So it's a lot of stuff going on. If there is friendly fire, you really don't know. You really should just avoid everything you see and just run away when there's a big battle. But it was still fun. I think overall this game, like I said, I enjoyed it. I think I'll probably go back to it. It has a long ways to go. but I think it has an interesting concept, and like it will probably lead to some really fun like combinations and moments, especially because you can combine certain abilities. Like if you combine poison with fire, you make like a electric cloud kind of thing. They don't really show you too much about how that works out in the end, or what stuff mixes with what. There is like element weaknesses and strengths. So like right here, I think wind was super effective against this guy because he had a rock ability, something like that. Because his wind ability just completely takes him out. And maybe it's because I had a really good gauntlet. It's possible. That's another thing. Loot, I feel like doesn't really matter. Like I always found like a bunch of epic level stuff pretty easily. So I don't know if they should like get rid of that. Like legendary, see I found a legendary one. 2 of them, and epic. And usually you'll be able to have like all epic stuff at the very least, and maybe a legendary. But yeah, I just never had an issue really finding good loot. So maybe that's something we'll fix later on. Kind of reduce the amount that drops. But who's to say? And I feel like the flow of these matches, especially this first one, like, if you look in the corner of the screen in the top right, there's only 6 people left, and it feels like we're still in the middle of the match. At least it did for me. And so I really wasn't taking this too seriously right at the moment. I really wasn't paying attention to how many people were left. I'm like, oh, there's probably like still like 30 people left. But you can see there's a lot going on. And you kind of have to pay attention to whatever people are laying down. But you don't really, as long as you keep like a good armor set going, you really don't die too quickly. Right here I tried to figure out the exile thing, and I kind of screw up. So I just leave them. Especially when there's other players around. Neko music will show you how it's done. There you go. And I won! So, my very first match. That usually doesn't happen very often. I never won a PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I think I won once as a group, but I never won really anything solo. And then Warzone, I've won like 2 or 3 times. So I usually don't win this type of battle royale, but my first match I won, and I was completely taken back. So yeah, that's kind of like an uncut version of like a match, just to give you the flow of it. But we'll jump to some more footage from my other matches. Alright, so this is my 3rd match. And we're about to get into a big battle here. And a lot of stuff's going to be happening. And you definitely don't want to get into the center of a big fight, because you're going to be in some big trouble. Because a lot of stuff happens, and it can be hard to detect, like I mentioned earlier, like whose attacks are whose, and like what is hitting you. It's just a lot of information to take in. And sometimes you don't even know like if your attacks land, because there's just a lot going on. So the controls feel really good, like aiming feels good and everything like that, and I do like how the game plays, but it just has little tweaks that I think needs to be made just to have better like responsiveness. But I did have a kind of rock arm thing and fire. And the rock arm, you can launch a giant boulder and make a flame wall. And I spent most of this fight just running away, trying to heal up a bit. But it's not as intense as like a gunfight in like Warzone or something, because you do have enough health to escape and like sustain damage, especially when you have good armor and stuff. But it's still fun, still satisfying to take somebody out. And the game looks good too, so it just needs a little bit more environment, like variability or something. And maybe I just never went to those areas. So there we go. Take out that guy. Actually, I think I do pretty well towards the end here. And there is like progression and stuff like that. You can get new skins for the most part, and the powers themselves, so like ice and fire and all that, level up depending on how much you use them. And I believe you get new abilities and stuff, but I didn't really look too much into that, so I might be wrong. So I get 4 or 3. I see 4 kills at the top there, but I think it's only 3. And these could have been bots, I'll be honest. These could have been bots because it feels like I did too well. But I'm just going to make myself feel good and say these were actual players and I'm just really good at this game. And there you go, I win another match. So 6 kills, did some damage, not too bad. But yeah, so in my 3 matches that I played, I got 1st, 2nd, and 1st. So if you want to be good at a Battle Royale game right now, pick up Spellbreak, because you might get 1st. But yeah, overall, Spellbreak, I like really dug it. I think I'll be checking it out again throughout the next probably week or so, and seeing if it has a long play to it where you can keep enjoying it even after like 10+ hours. But if you're looking for like a free to play Battle Royale game right now, I think this is a good title to check out. Especially because it just feels different than a lot of other Battle Royale games, even though it does kind of feel like Hyperscape in some ways. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed Spellbreak. It was cool. If you got free time, definitely check it out, and I'll be keeping an eye on it throughout probably the next couple of months to see if it gains any popularity. But it does have potential. It is still rough around the edges in some aspects. But these games always can change and grow, so I recommend it at this point, even though it's only been out for maybe a couple days at this point in time that I'm recording. So that's Spellbreak. Hope you enjoyed my couple victories. I will probably never do it again in a Battle Royale, but hey, I'm not complaining. So thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, watch my other content, and yeah, just check out my videos, and I'll be back with another quick impression of another new game very soon. See you later.